Hello Internet, it's Flaming Roses. So if you couldn't tell from the title, I'm going to talk about something today. I'm going to talk about gender and how we identify with ourselves and self-expression and that kind of thing. I want to try and talk about that today and also define any terms that you might hear so that you're a little bit less confused about transgender people or confused about how that whole thing works, so that because I believe that to stop hate we need to educate each other. We need to spread messages of education, and if people understand things, they're less afraid of them and they're less opposed to them. So let's start out with cisgender. Cisgender means that you identify with the gender that you were assigned at birth. So for example, you're pregnant, you give birth to a beautiful baby girl. The doctors tell you it's a girl because of its anatomy, right? That girl grows up, that girl says, I'm a girl, because she feels like she's a girl. That's a cisgender person, that somebody who identifies with the gender that they were assigned at birth. So it's not really as complicated as it seems. I've said cisgender to a lot of people before and they're like, what is that? Is that some crazy new thing? And I'm just like, nope, it's a word that's been around forever. And it's a real thing, and yeah, a lot of people are cisgender, and that's completely okay because that's perceived as normal or whatever, but there is no such thing as normal. Let me just say, no such thing as normal. So the gender binary is, bi means two, so a binary of anything means that there are two very different sides to it. So a political binary would be liberal or conservative, that kind of thing. So the gender binary is from male to female, right? And if this is male and this is female, it's just a whole scale. It's not just pink and blue, sorry, but it's not just pink and blue, it's pink, purple, orange, yellow, green, black. There's so many different colors along the spectrum of gender that people don't have to identify out within just boy or girl, and I'll explain that a little bit later too. But the gender binary is basically just saying boy, girl. So if you hear somebody use the term gender binary, you know that they're speaking of basically just the scale of gender. So a non-binary gender, this is it sounds more complicated than it really is. So a non-binary gender means that you don't associate yourself or identify with boy or girl. So basically, if you grew up as an Eve, right, and everybody's telling you oh, you're a girl, you might not feel oh, I am a girl. You might feel oh, well, sometimes I feel more masculine and sometimes I feel more feminine, and I don't really feel fully girl or fully boy. So you're not really you don't really fit that boy or girl category, and that's completely fine. What you feel is valid. But yeah, it's less complicated than it seems, and I'm just trying to get some basic knowledge out to the world. I myself identify with mainly female, but I do have some gender fluidity, and gender fluidity is being fluid with your gender and saying oh, well, sometimes I identify over here with the masculine and sometimes I identify over here with the feminine. And for me, sometimes I'll be wearing low, super masculine clothes, just kind of present myself that way. And then days like today, I'll have more in-betweenish. Now, I'm wearing guy's pants, and then if I took this scarf off, I'd be more masculine, right? So it really just depends on the day, and it depends on how I'm feeling. And it's not really super complicated. It's just more I am Rosie, but I'm not always girl. Yeah. So that's, yeah. A transgender person is probably something you hear a lot, transsexual or transgender or things like that. A transgender person is somebody who identifies with the opposite gender of what they were assigned at birth. So where a cisgender person is doctors telling them female, growing up female, that's cisgender. Transgender is doctors telling female, growing up and feeling male. So Caitlyn Jenner, for example. Caitlyn was born and doctors told her that you're a male and was born anatomically male, but has recently transitioned from male to female. And it's something that you feel up here rather than something that is affected by your anatomy. Like, I don't feel like I'm a girl because I have, like, female genitalia. I feel like I'm a girl because I'm a girl. And then, you know, like, other days I feel like I'm more of a boy. And, you know, it just fluctuates. But most people, like, generally, people are cisgender. But there are a lot of transgender people out there, and there's a lot of discrimination and just hate towards them. And I think that that's caused because people aren't educated, people are uncomfortable, and they're scared because of their uneducation. So that's the point of my video right now, is to, like, try and spread education. A transvestite is also another thing completely. So it's not technically on the gender spectrum, because it's not on the gender spectrum because it's not a different identification of gender. But a lot of people are called transvestites when they're really transgenders, or called transgenders when they are transvestites. And a transvestite is a man who dresses up in women's clothes, or a woman who dresses up in man's clothes, or presents themselves differently at any given time. Like drag queens or drag kings, they're more about entertaining people and, like, expressing themselves than being a different gender. They're about, like, having fun and, like, but, like, presenting as, like, female or male, whereas transgender people are male, or they are female, even though their, like, anatomy doesn't match up. So yeah, there's a huge difference there. A big thing, ask questions. If you ever see, like, if you ever go to, like, a drag show and you get a chance to, like, ask questions, like, I would, but, like, try and do it in a way that's, like, not like, oh, so, like, what's happening? Like, don't be rude about it. But yeah, so just clear that up. There's a huge difference between the two. So that is it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Please, like, spread this message around, get it everywhere. Like, honestly, that would mean so much. Click like and subscribe, comment. My Tumblr and Twitter links are in the description. Links for more information about this subject are also there. Educate yourself, man. Like, go out, educate yourself. Thanks for watching. See ya.